you are working with beginner readers and writers, and they have learned the letter sound relationships between the first 6 graphemes, S, A, T, P, I and N, and they're now moving forward, and they might have one of these letters next, or it could be a different one, but it could be one of these. So what can you do to help your child? So if that's of interest to you, stay tuned and we'll talk about that in a moment. My name is Angela Emer. I'm a literacy consultant. I work with schools and school districts. I work with publishers. Most importantly, I work with the children, and I also work with parents. So let's get on to our topic today. We've learned 6 sound to letter relationships, and now the students are learning more. What can you do to support them? Well, first and foremost, what you want to do is to make sure you've done plenty of practice of these, that your child has had enough practice either at school and at home together for these to be really easy, for them not to have to think too hard. They come pretty quickly to them. So they are now able to read books that have words with these letters, and they can, when they see the letter, make the sound of that letter pretty quickly. And when they are writing, if they can hear that sound in a word, they know it's that letter that they need to write it. Now, it may not yet be automated, lightning fast, but it might be quick. So they're consistently now able to match these sound to letter relationships without too many mistakes. That's what you want to see. And what you also want to see is that they get speedier at it over time. That the cognitive load or the amount of mental effort that it takes them to make that relationship clear to themselves is reducing in its length of time. You'll also want to be noticing that there's increasing accuracy, that when they do have to write these words that have these letter sounds in them, that they are increasingly becoming more accurate over time. So very importantly, you want to make sure these are well revised and you keep practicing them. Whenever new information is learned at school, it needs to be integrated with the learning that has already occurred. So we don't want to learn the M in isolation. We want to learn the M, and it is immediately put into this pool to make words and to read words. That's really important. Now, when the children have the new letter introduced, the new letter sound relationship, that one will require more of their mental effort, usually, if it's new or unfamiliar to them. These should be the easier ones. Now, when the new information is integrated with the existing knowledge and you're at home with your child, it means that you can use your orthographic mapping to now do a few words at home in the evening that now include this new fellow. So you might make a word like mat. And so it's enough to be doing 2 or 3 practice words a night. You don't need to do an enormous number of them because you can practice in short bursts frequently, and that produces a better result than if you do one night of the week and you load it up with 10 goes. That tends to be less effective than practicing for short, frequent durations over time. That's much more effective. So if you can spend less time but do them more often, super duper. That's going to help your child much more, and it's going to help them to retain and remember that knowledge. So you might be starting with a word like mat, but you might also get them to do a longer one like maps. M-A-P-S. So you might do even 2 or 3 letter combinations with some of this group. And you might do 3 letter sound relationship combinations, and then you might help them to map 4 phonemes in a word. Okay, it's easier to map 3 sounds in order than it is to map 4 sounds in order. And you might even help them to do 5 sounds in order. So you start with the shorter one and then you increase it to the longer one. So it's better to start with a word like mat and then do a word like maps than it is to do them the other way around. So that's what you can be doing at home, is just keep revising what's known and incrementally add the new things your child is learning at school, and you want to watch for frequency of opportunity or frequent short practices at home for this knowledge to start to be embedded. So you're wanting to see that it's easier for the children as they integrate the new knowledge, and you want to immediately integrate that new knowledge. Now, what to do if they've done 3 new letter sound relationships but they're not very good at them yet? Just choose the one that is the strongest. Start with that one in this group. Don't do them all at once if they're having trouble with a couple of these. Increase the number over time as they build their capacity for them. But if they've got confusion around 3 elements, it's better if you don't put them all in together. Do one of them one night, the next night practice that one again, and then introduce the new one. Do it over the week if you can, or over the fortnight, rather than all in one hit. Hope that helps. See you next time.